The water flows very swiftly when there are no barriers like grasses or trees to stop the flow. But when there are no barriers, do you think the water gets percolated or gets absorbed into the soil? When there are hurdles like the bunds or vegetation on the way of flow of rainwater, the chances for water to percolate into the soil is greater and thus become groundwater.
Therefore, grass is generally planted on the slopes of the hills from where streams start, and check dams are constructed across the streams to store the water for long time use.
All these are some of the ways in which the groundwater can be increased or recharged. But students, do you know that in most of the parts of our state, the water extracted is more than the rate of recharge of water? This means that groundwater is being overused. Also, the cutting down of forests has led to a decline in the percolation of groundwater. If more water is extracted or used than what percolates into the soil, then naturally it will lead to a low levels of groundwater.
This has resulted in the decline in the level of water in the water table, which is decreasing by half to 2 meters every year.
The rainy season lasts for only 3 to 4 months in a year in our country. So, how do you think we will get water in the remaining time? The rest of the time, when there is no rainfall, we depend on the groundwater.
The rivers, wells, ponds and other sources of water get the water from the underground water sources.
The rainwater flows into the streams and the rivers. As we have learnt earlier, when the water is checked by the vegetation or the bunds, more amount of water may percolate into the soil to become groundwater. Many efforts have been taken to store groundwater in this way, which are generally taken for streams or rivers. These kinds of efforts have led to the development of watershed projects.
Grasses and other plants are planted on the slopes of the hills from where streams originated. Small bunds and check dams are built across the streams to stop the water flow and store the water. This helps in recharging or increasing the groundwater.
Students, as we have seen, the groundwater is a mixture of many kinds of nutrients. Also, you must have observed that the water sometimes tastes salty and sometimes even sweet, isn't it? Why do you think is the difference?
The different kinds of minerals dissolved in different kinds of soils gives water a difference in taste.
But student, where do these minerals come from? The rocks and stones that are under the ground are the source for the minerals. This is the reason for the different nature and taste of the water. Also, in many parts of our state, we see excess quantities of minerals like chloride, fluoride, sodium, iron, nitrate, etc. The presence of such nutrients in drinking water causes serious health hazards. It can cause various diseases that affect the bones, teeth, etc. Before drinking or using this water, it is important to treat the water properly so that the excessive nutrients contained in it is removed. Students, can you give out some causes of water pollution? Yes, the overuse of fertilizers and pesticides or a poor drainage system leads to a pollution of water. Therefore, it is a serious need to protect the water from getting polluted, which would otherwise make it difficult for us to use water. Students, now you must have understood the use of groundwater. The groundwater is one of the common resources for all the people, unlike the aquifers, which is only used by limited people.
The aquifers are the privilege of the farmers Owning large acres of lands and overuse of this water leads to decrease in the water tables.
Also, when these wells are dug deeper, the water level decreases further. This leads to the drying of the wells and the neighboring wells also.
The digging of deeper tube wells, overuse of groundwater may lead to reduction of water in the future. Water shortage has become so serious that there are threats for the future generations.
If water is not conserved in an efficient way, the future might see wars for water, isn't it? Think about it.